Hi guys, it's your girl Lola Loves You, and today, I'm coming with sad news. If you didn't hear it already, um, Traci Braxton, singer, TV personality, host, she has passed away. That's Tony Braxton's sister and part of the Braxton sisters. She's one of the five of the sisters, and she passed away yesterday of cancer of the esophagus. And I couldn't bear to do the video yesterday. I wanted to so bad, but I was crying. And I took this one. This was another personal low blow. I really took this really hard. It was very shocking, sad, just it was just really sad. And all I could do was just cry and mourn for her and feel empathetic and sad for her family, because they was a really close, tight family, especially the sisters. They had a strong sisterhood and bond, and it was so it's sad. It's just so sad, and I feel sorry for her son and her husband and her entire family and loved ones. And I just want y'all to keep the family in y'all prayers. Um, keep her mother, Miss Eve, in your prayers. Keep her father, because Tracy was a daddy's girl. She loved her father. Keep her father. She was really close with her father. She keep her father in her in your prayers. Keep her brother in your prayers. Definitely keep the sisters in the prayers. Keep her son in your prayers. Keep her husband in your prayers. Keep her grandson in your prayers. Keep her daughter-in-law in your prayers. Keep the whole Braxton family in your prayers and their loved ones in your prayers. This is very sad. A passing of anyone's loved one is very sad. It's very sad, and it's just you can't prepare someone for a tragic loss. You can't prepare someone for a passing. You could never. You could try, but you can never. You can't. And I just wanted to say that. And please give the family space and time and respect and love. Don't bombard them. Don't question them. They'll come out and talk when they need to talk. They already left a public statement on all of their social media. So let them have time, y'all. Let them have time. Let them have time for themselves. Let them have time for their grieving. Well, this video, I'm just dedicating this to Traci Braxton, and we're going to remember her life and events of her life in this video. Well, um, I'm from Maryland, and the Braxtons are also from Maryland. I don't know them personally, but I know of them, and I know people that knew of them and things like that. But I did. I grew up more in the city. They was in the more of the country outskirts of Maryland. So, of course, my first acknowledgement of Traci Braxton, I remember Tony Braxton being out. I was about 7 years old, and Tony Braxton is I was about 6 or 7. Tony Braxton is about 6. Tony Braxton is very popular at this time. She doing her thing. Her first album just came out. She's in all the magazines, and I remember one of the first magazines I got was a not one of the first magazines. One of the first magazines I remember her in was Ebony, and inside it was a picture with her and her sisters, and I said, "Oh, it was really cool." And thinking of as a 6 year old, I like who would have thought of it like a 6 year old? I was like, oh my gosh, it's really cool that her sisters back her up, is her backup singer. And I remember seeing Tracy, and she had blonde braids, but I didn't know them by name. So that's when I was about, like I said, about 6. So after that, I didn't hear any more about I didn't know her name or anything. So, Tony Braxton career, takes off. Um, Her sisters are singing back up for her. And then her sisters, the Braxtons, came out in 95, 96 with their own album, How Many Ways and different other songs. And I remember it was an uproar because it was Tony Braxton's sisters. And by this time, I forgot, I didn't know exactly how many sisters she had. Now, by this time, the group was trying to make their mark, but they really didn't really go anywhere. So I remember seeing, Tamar through the years. Tamar had a solo career before her real solo career hit. I remember Trina Braxton in a few Tyler Perry plays, and I remember Tawanda was on a show. Yeah, Iyanla had back in 2004. It was called, I think it was called Starting Over. Don't quote me, but she was in a Iyanla show. In 2011, WeTV premiered The Braxton Family Values, and that show really took that network into a whole nother level because WeTV really wasn't, in my opinion, doing very well. And then Braxton Family Values came on, and it really brought the network into a big light. Like, they have to thank, in my opinion, the Braxton Family Values for, making the network popular, in my opinion. Okay, so after that, I was a big fan of the show, and I was introduced to Tracy Braxton. And seeing her on the show, I was like, oh my gosh, she is so beautiful. And the definition of Tracy Braxton is real. Tracy Braxton was beautiful and she was real. And a lot of people want that title, but a lot of people don't live up to that title. And Tracy Braxton, in my opinion, lives up to the title of being a real person. She was non judgmental, she was loving, she was caring, she was a beautiful woman inside out. She was beautiful. And a lot of, and why I call her real, her reality TV was not, in my opinion, a lot of celebrities have delusional reality, personalities, but her personality was real on screen and off screen. You know, when they would show things about her life, it was really her real life. Now, I did not know the backstory about, what happened to her with being in the part of the Braxton group. So, okay, now we're gonna rewind. Okay, Tony Braxton, the Braxtons first started out in, like I said, they all of them are born in Southern Maryland. They're born and raised in Southern Maryland, yeah. And they used to form a girl group, and they got signed with Arista Records, and they were I think they were dropped. After their single, The Good Life, didn't do good, they were dropped. And LA wanted to sign Tony Braxton. LA from LaFace Records. LA and Babyface wanted to sign Tony Braxton just solo. Tony wanted all of them to be signed. So she had the mentality, if it's not me and my sisters, I'm not signing. So, she said they crying, and Tracy came to her, and gave a blessing, like for the whole family, like, Tony, just go and, do your thing, and then don't forget us, you know what I'm saying? And put us on once you get it put on. Tony Braxton kept her word, and she took them on tour with her, and they were her backup singers. And she was working behind the scenes, working hard for them, to get their deal. um Once, life happens, so at this time Tracy gets married and she has a baby. So by the time the Braxtons was about to the sisters was about to sign their group deal, after Tony Braxton became famous and things like that, um when they got to sign the contract, Tracy was pregnant and she could not sign. So, I guess this other sisters, Tawanda and Tamar and Trina, they probably felt like this the Tony Braxton thing. Okay, let us sign this deal. Let us, get this album out, and then, girl, you could come back probably for the second album, or they're probably trying to get her in. But it didn't work out like that because their album didn't do really great, in my opinion. It didn't do, it didn't really chart really, and it didn't really do no good sales. So it was nothing for Tracy to come back, come back to. Um, Also, people, like I said, life happens. So like I said, the group disband. Tracy feels neglected, and they didn't know that at that time. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know that she really was feeling neglected because, you know, still the group didn't do good, but they still was backup singers and dancers for Tony Braxton. They still living off the fruits and labor of Tony Braxton, and where Tracy now is a wife and a mother. So she's back in Maryland. She never neglected Maryland. So with Tawanda, Tracy, and Tamar, they are in Atlanta, and Tony, they all of them are Atlanta or LA and things like that, where she gotta, make life work out for her in Maryland. Getting a 9 to 5. You're a wife, you're a mother. You know what I'm saying, making sure her child is going to school, picking them up, doing this, being a wife, and things like that. And she had, out of all the Braxton, her and her brother had the most normal life. You understand what I'm saying? They didn't have that, in my opinion, at that time back then, before Braxton family values, they didn't have a Hollywood life. One thing I can say about all the Braxtons, they are very private people. They're very private individuals. And Tracy, she, like I said, she had a regular 9 to 5 life. You know what I'm saying? You could see Tracy around town and didn't know that was Tony Braxton's sister, and she just was living a low key. She was a low key person. So now, once she got on Braxton's Family Values, she became a favorite of the show. A lot of people love Tracy Braxton. I love Tracy Braxton, and with that, after season 1, she was famous, a household name. The Braxton Family Values, that was a household name television show. You got all these, all these years we wanted to know Tony Braxton's business, about, Tony Braxton's personal life. Then we've introduced to Tamar. We knew Tamar was Tony Braxton's sister, and she had a minor solo career, but now we're getting to see her, big personality. Then we seeing Tracy, then we seeing Tawanda, and then we seeing Trina. And so we're getting to know them, and we're falling in love with them. And um when you watch somebody every week on a television show and they're relatable, Tracy was so relatable. You kind of feel like that's your cousin, that's your aunt, that's your sister, that's your mama. That's, what I'm saying. You kind of find some common ground with that person, and you love them, and you really, humanize them. Tracy was somebody was so personable. You could humanize her, and she just was a great person. She was a beautiful woman, and that's how the world started loving Tracy. And with newfound fame, it was a lot for her, especially she had to move. Like she was saying, like neighbors didn't know who she was at first. And then after, the first season of Braxton Family Values, she said people knocking on her door and stopping her at the market and stores like that. So that kind of was a little much for her. So she had to move somewhere else. She was in a regular residential area, so she had to be, moving to a more secluded area. So her life was changed. The Braxton Family Values really changed Tracy's life in a great way. The show was very therapeutic for Tracy. She expressed a lot of things on the show, like feeling neglected and abandoned by her sisters. Um, some things went on in her marriage. A lot of people didn't know Tracy's son had medical issues as a young boy. Now I don't know now, but I know on the show they say he has some type of medical issues, and she had to deal with that. And being a mom and a wife that's hard work. So I commend her on that, and I know she was an excellent mom, and I know she was an excellent wife, excellent sister, an excellent daughter. She was an excellent person all the way around. So after the Braxton Family Values, and she put out an album, and I love the song Last Call. Last Call was such a beautiful song, and I wish it did bigger than what it did. I really wish The tone of that song should have been the tone for her entire album. It was a very beautiful, beautiful song. That's like that's in my top favorite 20 songs of all times. Last call. And Tracy lived her life. She lived her life. It was cut too short, but she had made a great, accomplishments. Being, like I said, being a mom, being a beautiful wife. She had a nice album. Braxton Family Values made her a household name. She hosted. I think she did some radio hosting. I know she, hosting different events and things like that. And marriage boot camp. And she had a lot of things going for herself. She really did. And I'm just so proud that she accomplished the things she did while she was on Earth. Um, Coming to the end of her life, we know that wedding photo of her at her son's wedding. And you can't judge a book by its cover. Just like we've seen pictures of Tammy Roman skinny, you don't know what's going on, and she had a image complex. So I didn't know with image disorder. My fault. Now with Tracy Braxton, I did not know like if that was, did she have an eating problem, or you can't assume anything. So I just was like, please Lord be with her. And we didn't know that she was battling cancer of the esophagus, and for a whole over a year they said, and she really was battling really hard, and they said she really um, fought hard for her life to the end. And yesterday, I got on social media and I found out that she passed, and I cried like that was my aunt. I cried so much. And the the family left a statement. It's on all their social medias, and they said when she passed away yesterday morning, and as she passed away, she was as she was transitioning, the snow. If anybody know, in Maryland, it snowed yesterday, and it was a hard snow. It was all this wind and snow in the morning time, and that was her passing. And they said, she's a snow. They were saying that she's a snowflake now, that she part of the snowflakes, and I thought that was such a beautiful symbolism of her transitioning. So every time I see windy snow, I'm going to think about Tracy Braxton. Um, when someone passed, now as I get older, I think about what was someone's purpose on Earth. We all have purposes. It could be little, big, small, but a purpose is a purpose, and it's part of life. That's our imprint in life. I don't know Tracy Braxton personally and things like that, but I think one of her purpose was to see her son through, to see her son become a man, meaning him, her helping him through his medical condition as a child, and seeing him, being there for him, loving on him unconditionally, and seeing him become a father, and seeing him become a husband, and seeing him just become a great man. And I think that was her task. Her work was done. The wedding photo speaks for itself. Her work was done. She saw what God had put her on earth to be: a great mom, a great wife, a great sister, a great daughter. And Tracy Braxton fulfilled her life mission, God's mission. The Braxtons lost their niece, Lauren, and Tracy took it very hard. Tracy and Lauren was very close. She said Lauren was like a daughter to her, and she had to go to therapy because she really missed her niece. And that was her brother's daughter. And Tracy is very close to her brother and her father because they were still in Maryland. And so they all lived in Maryland because Tracy never left Maryland. So she's close to her father, her brother, and all her family that's in Maryland. And she took it hard. So she's with Lauren now in Athens. you know, and she's a guardian angel to her entire family. And I'm gonna miss her. I know I know her sisters are deeply gonna miss her. Because the mother. One thing I can say about Miss Eve kept her children together and let them know that they're not stop all the bickering and arguing and things like that. Y'all sisters at the end of the day, and that's the truth. And I know they hurting. And for one sister in particular, Tamar. I know at times Tamar might have her ways. I know her and Tracy had their tension in the past. But hopefully, Lord's willing, that they made peace with each other. Um, Tamar, if you ever see this video, please, please do not beat yourself up over past tension you had with your sister. Your sister loved you unconditionally, and I know she knew, and she definitely knows now that you loved her unconditionally. But I know you let her know that before she left. I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but I know. If I know the love y'all have for each other, because Tracy always say y'all love hard. So I know that you let her know that, and I know that she let you know that. And please do not listen, because it's always evil people, naysayers. Oh, you treated her like that. Oh, you did that. You remember when Tamar did? Don't listen to it. Tracy loved you, and she know you loved her. It's your girl Lola loves you, and I'll be back with another video. Rest in peace, Tracy Renee Braxton. We love you, beautiful. We're gonna miss you. We're gonna miss you.